Hey everybody, Nicastro, Managing Editor of CMSWire. We're here with Acquia Chief Marketing Officer Lynne Capozzi. Her latest column is up today on CMSWire. How's it going, Lynne?
Good. How are you, Dom?
Good. It's good to be with you here, Acquia, right down the road from me, Boston-based, and offering digital experience platform software, among other things. So it's been great to follow Acquia through the years. And hey, actually, before we get into the topic of your column, it's great to hear that Acquia is getting back out there on the road and doing like road shows, and we're excited to see them out in the community in 2022.
Exactly. No one's more excited than me, Dom. I think it's time for us to get back out there and try some in-person activity with our customers, and super excited about doing that.
Good. I'm going to hit you up too, because we're going to do that next year. So you guys are going to be the guinea pig for that. So we're gonna follow your lead there for CMSWire.
Awesome.
But this column, Lynne, talks about, CMOs focusing on a lot of things. And one of them is, global issues and trends, not just that hardcore customer focus and being, locked into that customer world, which is number one, of course, but you're seeing these CMOs needing, and you're a CMO, obviously yourself, needing to really focus on these larger global issues and trends.
Yeah, absolutely. I spend a lot of time in various different CMO groups and CMO huddle sessions. And I will tell you, it's top of mind for so many CMOs, and should be, because, the pandemic has really changed all our consumer behavior, right? It's changed how people are committed and dedicated to brands and how quickly people will change. So I think it's even more important for the CMOs to be so focused on kind of what's happening in the market for their own product areas, but also being empathetic and kind of knowing what's going on in the larger, the larger market. I think a great example is kind of what we're all facing on the supply chain side. And if people aren't sensitive to that, and you're not aware of that, and you're not kind of building that into potentially the messages that you have as a CMO, you're probably missing something. It'll probably be looked at as, well, they're not really paying attention to what's happening in the world.
Yeah, great points. And also you talk about CMOs needing to really, double down on understanding technology and talent that's out there. So I want to ask you, from your own perch, your own perspective as a CMO, what understanding of MarTech, you're a MarTech provider, of course you need to know MarTech, but from a seat, like actually being in the trenches, like how close are you to your technology and the way your team uses software, your marketing team? And then the kind of part B of that question is, what kind of talent trends are you watching out there in building your marketing team? What kind of skill sets are you looking for when you hire?
Right. Well, as a CMO, and as you said, we are a tech provider, so I tend to, I have a mantra of drinking our own champagne. So yeah, my MarTech stack is full of my own products, which is great. So I have a benefit of that. But just in terms of all CMOs, I think we need to be very much in tune to, this new data-driven world, and being able to know, how do I get the right data? How much do I need? What tools do I need to access that? How often do I switch my tools out of my stack? I think that's really critical for CMOs. And the CMOs, I see that are being successful are the ones that know enough about data and know enough about tech, and surround themselves with some really good MarTech folks, so that they do have access to the greatest tools and the best ROI possible, without getting flooded with too many other pieces of technology. From a MarTech standpoint, I think and from a staffing perspective, I think it's important that you make sure you have the right talent. So you have the right balance between, creativity, right brain and left brain, right? So creativity and yet data driven. And I think having a team of people that have that mixture, I think is even more important. And people that can analyze data. So it's not just a matter of, getting the data. Now it's like analyzing. What does it mean? What are the trends that we're seeing? What changes should I make in my go-to-market plans? Because we're seeing this kind of like change in technology. One of the big things I see is, like, we, for instance, use our customer data platform. And I see a lot of CMOs, smart CMOs, starting to use a customer data platform that they're integrating in their stack, so that they can actually help make the best decisions possible for what's the next best action to take, or what should my plans be? What should my campaigns be? What should my, anything that kind of has to do with that go-to-market. So I'm seeing a lot of people who are looking at that customer data platform, as an underlying platform. It's kind of key for the future, I think.
Yeah, we're talking to so many folks about new titles emerging like digital operations leader, chief MarTech champion,
Right.
things like that. These are full-time jobs, people managing that MarTech stack in their organizations. It's no longer a piecemeal thing. IT has a say, customer experience has a say, everyone. No, someone leads that. And actually in your column today, you have a great stat about a survey you guys did with 800 marketers that found the CMO is the person most likely to lead digital customer journeys today. So, and that's above chief digital officers and chief information officers, as you point out. So that CMO, that really leaning on technology chops there.
Yeah, absolutely. And more reasons why it's important that the CMO and, CIO or CTO stay totally connected. So again, it's that mixture between marketing and IT that has to come together. And the successful CMOs find a way to bring that together, I think.
Yeah. Lastly, Lynn, thanks for joining us today, by the way, again. Being a contributor for CMSWire is so great for us to have people like you in the trenches, listening to customers, doing the work yourself. So thank you for that. And I want to end with things we can expect from Lynn going forward in future CMSWire articles. Is there any sort of trends you're watching for the rest of 2022?
Yeah, probably a couple. Probably the biggest one is, the biggest trend is kind of the evolution in the way that content is created and managed and delivered across all devices and channels that we've been talking about for so long. So kind of that sweet spot combination of personalization and privacy, but really being able to find ways to build and develop and execute that content across multiple channels. We have multiple products, of course, that help you do that. But I think that's an important trend. I think that's going to continue. And being kind of first to the content game, I think is really, really, really important. And I think something that's going to grow even more. So, as we go into, I don't know, next year or the year after, and a metaverse becomes a thing, I think we'll all be faced with, well, how do we do 3D content and a bunch of other kind of new challenges. But I think in the meantime, those marketers that can focus on the right content at the right channel at the right time is probably the best investment you can make, especially for the future.
And Lynn, we can't end without having to have the rest of the sports world roll their eyes at the fact that you and I are in the Boston area. So, we're used to championships and all that, about what, 10 or 12 in the last 20 years. So who's going to win the next title in Boston?
Well, I'm deciding right now, am I going to put my bets on the Bruins or the Celtics when it comes to the playoffs? So, but I'm feeling pretty good about both, actually.
I know.
So I may take both of those bets.
It's been a while, we're kind of craving a championship here. I mean, 2019 with the Patriots, and we're suffering over here, Lynn. So someone's going to bring us a title in fast.
Exactly.
All right, Lynne Capozzi, Acquia CMO. Thanks for being a CMSWire contributor and catching up with us today.
Thanks so much, Tom. Take care.
All right, you too.